Hello, everyone. Welcome to this interview for Zero In. My name is Alistair Drennan, Content Director here at Innovation Zero. I'm here with Andreas Schörling, Managing Director UK of FlixBus UK. Today, we're going to be talking about fueling for HGVs, how FlixBus is working to achieve zero-emission vehicles, as well as the UK Government Department for Transport's recent HGV and coach infrastructure strategy, which is being published this year, and what FlixBus has done towards the call for evidence. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that. So thanks so much, Andreas, for joining us. Could you just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do for FlixBus?
Yes, thanks very much for having me. FlixBus, we launched here in the UK in 2021. And since then, we've grown a truly national network in more than destinations. We have transported millions of passengers in the UK alone, and we have a clear plan to the largest network in the country. We're also part of the larger Flix Group. It's a global travel tech company. We are present in 42 countries, and we've served over 300 million passengers.
Amazing. And in terms of FlixBus's own net zero or low carbon emission strategy, what is it, the work that specifically that FlixBus does in this space?
Yeah, this is something that's truly close to heart for us, and it's part of our mission. And I think we would like to start by underlining that coach travel as such is already a great way to travel sustainably. And in 2022 alone, our passengers avoided more than 800,000 tons of CO2. So that is a starting point where we are today. On top of that, as a group and as a company, we've committed to the UN-backed science-based targets. And that has led to an internal plan that we as a business are aiming to achieve carbon neutrality by 2040 here in Europe.
When it comes to fueling vehicles such as coaches and other heavy-duty vehicles, do you see a particular route in how we fuel these? You know, would it be batteries? Is it hydrogen fuel cells? Is it biofuels? Obviously, there are different companies taking different approaches. Do you have a particular view on this? And if so, why?
Yeah, excellent question. And obviously, with the scale that we have, being present in 42 different countries, running everything from short lines to long lines, we maintain a very open approach to this relatively complex problem. We are humbled to acknowledge that there will not be one single technology that's going to be the silver bullet solving this. And we are, as of today, optimistic about several different technologies, including electric, biogas, and hydrogens, which are the ones that seem to be at the forefront. So we are engaging with all of those initiatives, but equally maintaining an open mindset for what the development will bring.
And in terms of what's required to allow HGVs to be fueled en masse, what do you see as being needed to allow the critical infrastructure to develop? You know, in terms of what do we need from policy, or what do we need from the regulatory landscape, or what do we need from the investment community to allow this to to propagate throughout through the entire industry?
Yeah, thank you for the question. And our business model as such is based on partnerships. And I'm highlighting that because I think this is also a topic and a question that will have to be solved through partnerships. There will not be one company, one stakeholder, one constituency that will solve this alone, but it will require the entire ecosystem to come together. We need the support of OEMs. We need the operators to come together. We need companies such as FlixBus to drive that narrative. And of course, also working with governing authorities. Looking at what FlixBus is doing on our side, we are, as I mentioned, keen on driving this development and being at the forefront. We've established joint ventures and partnerships with OEMs and stakeholders in the industry. Worth mentioning, we're working to launch Europe's first hydrogen-powered long-distance coach in the near future. We're doing this with Freudenberg Fuel Cell Systems and ZF. We're also working together with Scania, where we are working together to launch up to 50 coaches to run on biofuel. And this has the goal and ambition and also the potential of cutting up to 80% of CO2 emissions. So there will be, I think we're at the stage where there are many different partnerships that are being formed in order to create these solutions. And we are investing into this, our partners are investing into this, and we will need to cooperate with, as you mentioned, investors, governments to drive this to a solution.
Now, as I discussed at the top of the interview, something that we wanted to touch upon is something that the Department for Transport recently announced, which is that they're developing a zero-emission HGV or heavy goods vehicles and coach infrastructure strategy for publication in 2024. So as they outline, the strategy will set strategic direction and outline the respective roles and responsibilities of both government and industry to ensure the delivery of the refueling and recharging infrastructure required to meet the end of sale dates for new non-zero emission HGVs. As part of this, they sought a call for evidence from persons or organizations with an interest in the manufacture or use of zero emission HGVs and coaches, such as FlixBus. So my first question off the back of this would be, what was your initial reaction to this announcement and the call for evidence?
Yeah, I think obviously the first reaction is that we're really pleased and happy to see that the Department for Transport is engaging with the industry and is taking another collaborative approach into outlining what the strategy should be. And from our side, we've been very clear both to DFT and any other relevant stakeholders that we are happy to engage at any point and leverage the experience we have. So we have, of course, engaged in this call for evidence and provided input from our side. And I think we can really contribute into the discussion and the narrative that we're jointly building is leveraging the global experience that we are having from, as I mentioned, running 42 different countries on 3 different continents. We have been trialing various technologies in different weather conditions, on different type of services, products. So I think it's a very useful input that we can provide. Then obviously, I think something we can acknowledge is that this call for evidence is not going to include policy recommendations. So I think it's unclear whether we will have concrete steps coming out of this. And as such, we remain at disposal to continue the discussion, but I think we also need to get to the point of coming to tangible outcomes.
So what sorts of things did you either advise or recommend or inform in this call for evidence? What were the sort of things that you wanted the DFT to be aware of?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. First and foremost, as I mentioned previously, I think it's important to maintain an open mindset when it comes to technology, because it's not clear cut what will cover the needs of the future. Plus, there will be many different use cases. and then highlighting the desire from our side to use product and zero emission products, but they're not out there as of today. And we need to work collaboratively to develop them. And obviously, the most obvious topic is infrastructure and ensuring that recharging and fueling is available for the various technologies at the point that we're needing them, and also realizing that various industries will have different needs in terms of locations, where, for example, if you are in logistics, you'd need to fuel close to warehouses. If you are in transportation, you need to fuel where people are living. So there's a bit of a different needs, and all of those need to be catered for and included in a strategy such as this.
That's really interesting. I hadn't actually thought about that, about the different needs of where the fueling would need to take place, like with the logistics versus like passenger transport. That's really interesting. So do you have any sort of particular hopes as to what's achieved from this strategy paper? Is there anything sort of particular that you're looking for? I mean, I know you said, hoping to kind of keep an open mind, but in an ideal world, what would you be hoping for or from the DFT?
Yeah, of course. And this goes to the conversation DFT, and in general, we are huge believers in public transportation, and we have a strong belief that people will always travel. And as such, we need to create sustainable travel. And our mission is truly to democratize travel. And we want to allow everyone to experience the world without costing the earth. So it needs to be sustainable, but equally it needs to be affordable. And that's where we think public transportation, and especially coach, is a phenomenal solution.
And then I suppose turning to kind of the more broader thoughts about mobility itself, do you have an overall vision of the future of low or zero carbon mobility?
Yeah, our mission as a company is to provide smart and green transportation for everyone everywhere, and that connects all these points that we've discussed in terms of I think it's incredibly enriching for humans in general to experience the world. They get to see new places, new cultures, and as such, we provide a solution that is safe proof for the future. We want to make sure that future generations can continue to enjoy this, while also being affordable enough for the masses to do that. So I think that's our mission, and that's what we're working tirelessly on day after day.
Awesome. And obviously later in 2024, in just a few months' time, you'll be speaking at Innovation Zero. So you'll be participating again after having participated in our 2023 launch events. You'll be speaking in a panel discussion in our transport forum about how we transition to a zero carbon fleet, sharing the stage with a variety of different fleets operators, some from the more sort of like taxi fleet, some more courier delivery fleets. You'll obviously be representing the HGV coach side of things. So if you could kind of tease any particular insights that you're hoping to share with our audiences, like what is there a kind of a key message that you would like them to take home with them? And a second question about the event, just what are you hoping to gain from your time there?
Of course. And obviously we participated last year, and it was a great experience, and we were very happy to have participated, and as such we're very much looking forward to the event this year. And the panel will be very interesting. Obviously for us it will be about continuing to discuss the various partnerships that we've already formed, but also partnerships that we're looking to form, because we're by no way done as of yet. So we keep working on this partnership structure. It'd be very interesting to discuss the way we look at it, but also how other industries are wrestling with this, because I think we are all facing very similar problems. As we touched on previously, we have in the details, it's a bit different, but the larger picture are kind of similar challenges. And then the event as such is also a fantastic experience. I mean, we had the opportunity to raise the awareness of FlixBus, which is still a relatively new brand in the UK, but then we all know it's an election year this year. So really looking forward to connect with politicians and discuss what the various manifestos and what their goals and ambitions are, and how we can be part of supporting that. Plus also forge new and deepen existing industry contacts among people who are there, because there's a great list of attendees.
Fantastic. And I think it's really great that you'll be talking about the partnerships and everything, because that's such a key part of what we want to sort of highlight and foster Innovation Zero. Like, obviously we talk a lot about innovation, but the collaboration part is such a key element as well. So I think that's going to be a really, really fruitful conversation for our audience. So we're really, really looking forward to hosting you. And thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today at Zero In. Yeah, obviously we will can find all of the details about Andreas and about FlixBus, which we will link in the description. And yeah, as I said, Andreas will be partaking in our panel discussion on our transport forum on day 2, which is on the 1st of May. So please do sign up and come along to that session, because it's going to be really amazing. So thanks so much, Andreas, and yeah, look forward to seeing you there.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.